To defy the odds, you have to risk everything and take chances. At Old Nation Brewing Company, we did just that. From an unknown startup brewery to standing alongside national craft brands in just under a decade, we remain one of the last of the large, independently owned breweries in Michigan. Our beer is respectfully brewed using only the highest quality ingredients, and we don't cut corners. With the times changing for everyone, one thing that stays the same is Old Nation's respect for great beer and the people who love it. We're growing in cans produced and fans made. When you taste our beer, you'll know why.
All right, 3 o'clock, hour number 2. I'm in for Mike. Mike back on Monday.
Hey, Jeremy, real quick, when Connor was there, was he in Central Michigan gear?
He was not. He was in a suit.
Okay.
Michigan tie.
Just question. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think there was a chance, since he's famous for sign stealing, he was there to steal documents from the court?
Oh. Was he wearing spy glasses?
I'll have to get back to you on that next update, yes. We have a bottom.
I'm going back home, guys. Have a nice one.
But there's still 3 hours left of the program. What's the problem? By the way, I just saw the Aaron Rodgers price of the jersey. It went down. So maybe you guys want to get David that. Anyway, listen, Jeremy brought it up. By the way, there was a move. Andy Ibanez down, Jahmai Jones up. I think a lot of Tiger fans are frustrated with Ibanez, especially yesterday. Couldn't hit a lefty. They lost to the White Sox. It is what it is. That's your move. However, he also said today is Tarik Skubal Day. You celebrate, right?
Yes.
We all celebrate. So it's impossible, I think, to think about Tarik Skubal and not think about the future. Because this is the weirdest contract thing with any athlete ever. Scott Boras is his agent. He's got 2 years of control left, including this year. You get him for 2 playoffs, and you know he wants record-breaking money. Jeff Passan from ESPN said could take $400 million. Ken Rosenthal doesn't believe that
$400 million.
That's right.
Okay.
Ken Rosenthal doesn't believe the Tigers stand a chance to get him. Scott Harris has been on record saying it takes 2 sides. Odds are, unless you want to give the man a blank check, and he's going to hit free agency, so you're going to be bidding against other teams, you're not going to re-sign Tarik Skubal. Odds are. Fair to say? Is that fair?
No, it's very fair to say, Rico.
All right, so he goes tonight, and I've been on record, and I want your plan, I want David's plan, Paul, I want everybody's plan, 248-539-9797. What is your Skubal plan? Like, if you just want to say, I want to enjoy this year and next year and shut the hell up, then I guess so be it. But I find it impossible. I really do, when you have a first-place team and the best pitcher in baseball, to not think about what comes after next year. So I want to give you my plan. And you tell me if you agree, disagree, what do you want to do? Here's my Skubal plan. I pitch him this year because you're a first-place team. There's no way in hell I'm trading him. You can win a World Series. I pitch him next year. Odds are you're going to be pretty good still. And you have a chance to win a World Series. After next year, I'm giving him the qualifying offer. He's going to turn it down because it's only 1 year. He wants the big money, and I'm going to take the comp pick. I'm not going to pay him what he wants. He's going to be 31 years old. He's got a history of arm injuries. He only goes 6 innings. And his last outing, he wasn't even allowed to pitch past the 90-pitch mark. And he's pitching on extra rest these days, too. I'm not paying Skubal what he wants. If he wanted to take less, he already would have signed with Detroit. He's taken a big risk because if he, God forbid, blows out his arm, he gets nothing essentially. But that's my plan. I play him this year. I play him next year. I say goodbye. I build a statue if he wins the World Series. I take my comp pick, and away we go. What's your plan?
God, I hate to say I agree with you, but I do agree with you, Rieger.
Why
No
do you
way.
hate to say it?
Well, because you're normally wrong.
That is just mean.
It's also factual.
I doubt that.
I'm not into paying any pitcher $400 million. 200
Rumored,
million,
yes.
rumored. 200 million was going to be a stretch. 400 million means you're looking at probably an 8 to 10 year contract. He's already going to be 31,
Yes.
which means you're married to him. You're stuck with him. You know, you may get a couple of good years, but then after that, it's going to be, Miguel Cabrera, pitching wise.
No, it's going to be bad.
Where you're like, oh my God, how much are we paying him? Can't we just get rid of him and DFA him? No, you can't.
Like how people used to talk about Baez.
Right. I look at this as if it were going to be done, it was going to be done last year. And when it didn't get done last year, I'm like, I don't think he's here long term. Nothing about whenever he talks about the Tigers, it's always talk to my agent above my pay grade.
Right, and it's not his fault. We understand.
And I get it, but I have never gotten the sense that I want to be this Tiger for life. So I'm with you. I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels come off.
Right, ride the horse and then say goodbye.
And then in 2 years, you're right, I'll make a token offer knowing it's going to get turned down. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to try to get everything that I can out of him for the next 2 seasons.
As you should.
If you're the Tigers, if you're smart, maybe you make a play and try to bring in and trade for another starter that can kind of take his spot once he leaves, and you can have a great 1-2 combo for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But there is no way, especially if it's the rumor $400 million. I'm old school. Okay, we had the argument yesterday. I like the teams that bunt the ball. I can't see paying a pitcher $400 million, a guy who, let's just say, best case scenario is involved in 35 games a year. Yeah, I know he's a starting pitcher, but he's only there for an everyday player.
Like 15% of your season.
An everyday player, I can see. If you had an Aaron Judge, it's like, oh, man.
He'd be making more than Aaron Judge.
But not for a starting pitcher, no.
And I agree. So
it.
What is your Skubal plan? I know you thought about it. Now, on the off chance the Tigers are no good next year, and they fall out of being good, then you trade them. And you get something back for him. A team uses them for the postseason, and then he goes on to sign his massive deal. I'm not paying him. I just can't do it. I'm just going to use him. But it's weird because if you say that, people get offended by it. Because I do think kind of like Michigan fans care so much about vacating wins and want that championship from 23. I think most Tiger fans want to give Skubal a blank check, want to lock him up for life, and doesn't care what it costs, and they will just simply cite, there's no salary cap, dumbass, so pay him whatever he wants, make sure he's a Tiger for life. I'm not doing that, because even though there's no salary cap, that to me would be an irresponsible contract.
It is, and I think the Tigers are kind of telling you without telling, but because he's on the pitch count, they don't throw him. It's about 90 pitches, and then he's out of there. And I get it. You're saving him for the postseason. You're just trying to burn him out. But I don't really. You don't hear the rumors of any type of offers, knowing that the clock is ticking.
Yeah, there's nothing. You're right.
I just think that we're going to just go ahead and we'll see what happens in 2 years. But I won't be mad at Scott Harris either, because Riger,
absolutely,
he is going to ask for the world. I'm going to let the Mets pay him. I'm going to let the Dodgers pay him. I can't see this happen. I mean, you saw a different player, but I mean, Atlanta, Max Fried was like, yeah, you know what? Sorry. We're going to let the Yankees pay you. They're going to sign you for this long 10-year, I think 8-year deal. Go ahead. You can leave. We're not paying. And I think the Tigers are going to say the same thing. I can't, not on an everyday, you're not an everyday player. So therefore, I'm not for that. That's
Tigers do a great job of developing pitching specifically. They have a great pitching coach. They have a great assistant pitching coach. I think they could fill the void that a guy like Skubal would leave, and you don't want to lose him. The other thing that I can't get past, and Jim Costa had this great stat, and you can think whatever you want to think, but if you go back to 2024 and you talk about the great pitchers in baseball like Skubal, all of them have thrown more pitches than Tarik Skubal. If you go to those types of pitchers, 18, 17, 16 times they eclipse the 100 pitch mark, Skubal has done it 4 times since last season. And he had a chance on Saturday in Kansas City in a 0-0 game to go back in there at 90 pitches. I'm not saying he didn't want to, but they wouldn't let him. And he was on an extra day's rest, right? So if they treat him like that now, babying him, could you imagine if they sign him to a massive deal? What would the babying look like then? I'm not doing it, but we're curious. Where do you think this ends? What's your Skubal plan? Are you one of these people, and I see it on the ticket text, that you want to give him a blank check? You want to give Tarik whatever he wants to make him a Tiger for life? Would you dare trade him, knowing you could get a boatload for him, but it would really hurt your playoff chances and your World Series chances?
I've heard everything you've had to say. I'm going to give you my plan of what I would do with Skubal when we get back.
He's going to do it next.
Ooh, Aaron Rodgers and Tarik Skubal in Pittsburgh. All right, we get that. We'll take your calls. 97 on the ticket.